Glen, you ready?
We're live.
We're live? Okay, great. Okay, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Meetings Act, adequate and proper notice of this meeting has been given to the public by publishing a notice in the Glen paper, Glen Voice, Montclair Times, and the Star Ledger, and posting said notice on the bulletin board in the municipal building. The agenda and public handouts for this meeting can be viewed online at www.glenridgenj.org. A public comment period will be held as listed on the agenda. Please state your name for the record and note that comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Mr. Clerk?
I'll call the roll.
Call the roll.
Councilors Lefkowitz?
Here.
Hughes?
Here.
Moody?
Here.
Law?
Here.
Meyer?
Here.
Morrow?
Here.
Mayor Mann?
Here.
Councilor Melissa? Or Councilor Consigliere Melissa. Clerk is absent. Chief?
Here.
And you have a quorum. You have no minutes. Mayor?
Okay, thanks. I just have a few brief remarks. First, Mike, I did not print out.
Okay. If, I just have to go grab something.
On my phone. Hold on, let me see if I have it.
Have it on my phone.
I have it, Mike.
Okay.
Thank you. It's not the final.
Within the packet, it's in the agenda.
Thank you.
Should be there. One moment.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for.
I just sent it to you.
Yeah. All right. Sorry for the delay on that. We are going to have a moment of silence to remember September 11th. And before we do that, we will be reading the names of our Glen residents whose lives were lost on September 11th, as well as let you know that all the residents are invited to join us on September 11th at 8 a.m. with the County Remembrance Cemetery at the County Remembrance Cemetery ceremony at Eagle Rock Reservation in West Orange at the 9/11 Memorial. That is again in the morning of September 11th at 8 a.m. So we'll stand while we read the names. On this anniversary of September 11th, we remember the following colleagues and friends that we lost. Brian Craig Bennett, Thomas H. Bowden Jr., John A. Candela, Robert J. Hall Jr., Michael Patrick LaForte, Craig E. Montano, and Lee E. Oliver. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. The only other remarks I have relate to a number of emails gotten into the borough from some residents. We've had 2 very intense storms that dumped a lot of water in our community over the last couple of weeks, and we do want to recognize that we understand this is a problem in town, and that the borough stormwater infrastructure, and including it was designed and installed in the 20th century as the area developed, and that many of these stormwater systems in areas that are getting flooding in town drain into Tony's Brook. Tony's Brook also acts as a stormwater conveyance for Montclair and Bloomfield, so it's not just the stormwater coming off of our roadways and properties, it's cumulative from the surrounding communities, and because of climate change, we're getting more frequent severe weather, including more intense storms. This is not a phenomenon just in Glen, it's throughout the state. So currently, where possible, the borough is trying to integrate upgraded storm system infrastructure in neighborhoods concurrent with road repaving work. For example, we installed new storm drains and curbing on Sherman Avenue and a new storm drain outlet near Benson Street. This work's not as timely as we would like, and we rely on state funding for the work, but we will continue to pursue these opportunities as more money comes in from New Jersey DOT. We're also working to better understand the full impact of such storms on our local system, and what we'd like to do is communicate this and use it for advocacy efforts with the county and the state and our federal representatives to pursue funding opportunities to make the necessary studies and improvements that we need. And finally, we've already begun at a borough level, both at the council and the staff level, which have been really great discussions with Bloomfield and Montclair to have a coordinated response and a coordinated study, and we feel positive about those communications. We'll probably be conducting outreach this fall to just gather further on-the-ground data about what is happening in the borough, about where people are having flooding, and to hear more personal stories about that so that we can more accurately pursue our studies and our funding. So I just want to reflect that because we have gotten some communications in on that. And with that, I will ask, are there any written communications?
Mayor, we just have one communication. This is from the it's a 200-foot notice from an attorney representing CBD, Bloomfield Developer Urban Renewal. This is regarding the redevelopment site. This is at St. Cassian's across from Bloomfield, from Bottle King? Sacred Heart. That site will be designated, Bloomfield's in the midst of designating that a redevelopment site. So I just wanted to let the public know, that's right next door to us, you'll visibly see it. Bloomfield's going through the redevelopment process. We'll be kept in the loop as to what steps they're taking, but this is the first step for the designation process. And more to follow.
Okay, thank you for that. A copy that would be available in the Borough Hall if anyone wants to see that. Oh, sorry, I went out of order a little bit. Any comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll turn it over to Councilor Lefkowitz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First, I have Resolution 123-24. Be it resolved that the following claims be approved and warrants be drawn for the same. You see them listed there. Prominent among them is the Water Capital Fund, $723,250 for a water meter replacement project as previously approved. And the other amounts, you can read that in the resolution. So, Madam Mayor, I move the resolution.
You've heard the motion for Councilor Lefkowitz. Do I have a second? A second. Heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz, seconded by Councilor Meyer. May we have a vote? Roll call.
Councilor Lefkowitz?
Aye.
Hughes?
Aye.
Moody?
Aye.
Law?
Aye.
Meyer?
Aye.
Morrow?
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
And next, Madam Mayor, I have Resolution 124-24 to authorize the sale of surplus property that is no longer needed for public use, for use by the Borough of Glen Ridge, that we will auction it off on an online site, govdeals.com. and various items including cheap vehicles, old wheels and tires, various other things are listed in the resolution. So I move resolution 124-24.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz. May I have a second? You've heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz, seconded by Councilor Moody. May we have a roll call?
Councilors Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Moody, Law,
Aye.
Meyer, Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I have resolution 125-24. Whereas the Borough of Glen Ridge Public Safety Department has bicycles that have not been claimed, and the Glen Ridge Rotary Club has requested the donation of the surplus bicycles for the Pedals for Progress program, be it resolved that the Mayor and the Borough Council authorize said donation to the Glen Ridge Rotary Club. I move the resolution.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz, seconded by Councilor Hughes. Any discussion?
It's a worthy program.
I hope there's a lot of them. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilors Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Moody, Law,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
And finally, Madam Mayor, I've got resolution 126-24, whereas it is in the best interest of the Borough of Glen Ridge to create the position of per diem community service officers. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and the Council that the position of per diem community service officer be established in the Glen Ridge Police Department at the pay rate of $22 per hour. I move the resolution.
Heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Lefkowitz, seconded by Councilor Hughes. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilors Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Moody, Law,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. The motion carries.
Anything else, Councilor?
That's all.
All right, Councilor Hughes.
Mayor, I have a public safety report tonight. The chief has turned in their monthly report, and in it are some interesting, I think, statistics that I'd like to share. So using 2022 as a base year, total crimes in our community are down 11% from 2022. Now, 2023 we had a spike in total crimes that were committed. I think that, in reading, a lot of communities have seen an increase in crime and then a decrease in crime. Ours is notable. In 2022, it increased 16%. But then it came down 22% from 23 to 2024. So we saw a pretty significant decrease in overall numbers of crimes reported this year. We don't have that much crime in town, frankly, and so a change of 1 or 2 is somewhat notable, right? Burglaries, for example, in 2022 there were 9, in 23 11 reported, and in 24 10. Motor vehicle thefts are up. We know that there's an organized effort with regards to stealing cars. We've been dealing with that. We are not alone. The county's working on it, the state's working on it as well. But in 2022, there were 11 motor vehicle thefts. In 23, it dropped to 4, and now we're back up to 11 so far. And this is for a period of January to August so far. Theft, just in general, jumped in 2023 from 51 to 89, but then have fallen back now to 53. Criminal mischief is way down. Motor vehicle crashes are down. And not surprisingly, with the addition of our traffic control officer, motor vehicle stops have gone from 1,850 in 2022 to 2,016 in 23, and this year 2,500. So there really has been a significant amount of attention being paid to motor vehicle thefts. In general terms, the crime rate in Glen is very, very low. And John, I think you shared a notice that was in a national publication. Was it the Wall Street?
It was the top 16 safest cities, I think.
Yeah. It was really quite a unique statistic. Glen Ridge finds itself in very, very good standing with regard to crime in the community, and it's a testament, I think, to our police department. So, Chief, thank you very much, and please pass along I think the approval and the gratitude of the council there.
Yeah, the only thing I would add to that, it's like hand in glove though with the community piece of it.
Yep.
So there's such a huge presence now in that informal relationship building with the community, which is also really helpful. It's not just that enforcement piece, it's the working with the community, which I really appreciate. And it's, it's a lot to do both, so we appreciate that.
The other thing I wanted to report out on was the chief did meet with the new superintendent of schools and the vice principal at high school. And there's a very good working relationship developing between them and our police department, which I think is important. We've enjoyed that over the years, and we want to see that continue. But I think with this new group we have, the early feedback we're getting is that it's quite good, quite a good working relationship. So I'm happy to report, and that's it. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
And you don't have anything else, right?
I don't. I have nothing to report.
Okay. Thank you for that report. Councilor Moody, Community Affairs and Public Relations.
I don't really have a report tonight. I just also wanted to express my thanks to the Chief and to Mike, speaking of communications on the back-to-school rollout, and the fact that, again, was really hand in glove with the new superintendent and the schools and really reinforcing safety. So there's a lot of notable attention to that. So thanks.
I think I'd like to add, since the mayor and Councilor Moody has also developed a relationship with the Board of Education. We're meeting with them quite frequently. So born of those discussions was a request to put out a joint communication between the council and the BOE and the Public Safety Department. So I'm very excited for this new opportunity to collaborate across all of our community organizations with the police force and the BOE and the council really kind of working hand in hand together. So I just wanted to highlight that meeting that we held a couple weeks ago.
Anything else? Councilor Moody?
Yes, for me.
Okay. Councilor Law, Public Works.
Yes, resolution number 127-24. The Federal Highway Administration authorized funding of about $95,000 for a Safe Routes to School project for pedestrian crossing improvements along Ridgewood Avenue. The authorization was based upon the scope of work and budget agreed upon by Glen Ridge and the New Jersey DOT. The scope of work in the authorization includes preliminary engineering activities as well as final design activities. It is necessary for the better borough to enter into a design contract between Glen Ridge and NV5 for the preliminary engineering activities. Work cannot begin until this funding agreement is executed by the New Jersey DOT. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Borough Council that the mayor and clerk are authorized to execute the federal aid agreement. Madam Mayor, I seek to move this resolution.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Law. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Heard the motion by Councilor Law, seconded by Councilor Morrow. Any discussion on this resolution?
Yes.
We're happy to see us moving along. It's been several years from inception to this point, so hopefully.
And the good news is we have been designated as gold. What's this gold?
It's gold level.
Gold level.
Yeah.
Gold level for Safe Routes to School by DOT, and there's a luncheon where they will not have a truck for us, but I guess we'll have lunch for us.
This is the sort of pedestrian bump out that'll be by the high school, by the church, Congregational Church High School, and the train station crosses. There'll be bump out. They'll be green, so it'll be a shorter distance for crossing, and it's a good thing.
Traffic calming.
Traffic calming. They'll replace the pylons, the bollards, but it's a work in progress.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, please call the roll.
So we have a motion by Law, seconded by Morrow. Councilor Lefkowitz?
Aye.
Hughes?
Aye.
Moody?
Aye.
Law?
Aye.
Meyer?
Aye.
Morrow?
Hi.
6 ayes, no nays, the motion carries.
Thank you so much. Anything else, Councilor?
That's it. Thank you.
Councilor Meyer?
I just want to say good luck to all these athletes who are kicking off this fall 2024 sports season in earnest. We're behind all the good athletes and all the people that participate. There's really a team of people that have kind of gotten us ready in the borough in partnership with the GRA, to Bill and his team with the DPW, and Jim and his team at Parks and Rec, and Rich and Tyler for all the kind of the grass and the seeding work to really get our fields in playing conditions, carrying all the permits, and kind of really pulling together. It's no small feat with the amount of participants we have in town in these youth sports. So thanks again to everyone, and Chief and his team for their support as well. I also attended a couple of walk parties this weekend and saw a lot of Chief Quaid's officers there as well. So I thought that was really great. They were just kind of walking around mixing and mingling. So that community engagement is really noticeable and really fantastic. So good luck to that's it from our report this evening.
Thanks. Councilor Morrow, Planning and Development?
Thanks. I just have two ordinances tonight. The two presented tonight for second reading and public hearing stem from recently enacted requirements under the New Jersey DEP stormwater regulations. We as a municipality are required to adopt these ordinances. The state has provided model language for municipalities in the state to adopt to ensure compliance with the state regulations. The first of these presented tonight is Ordinance 1811, governing tree removal and replacement. As many of you know, we have a very active state tree commission in town, and their jurisdiction has been and continues to be fruit trees. And they have worked very hard and consistently to earn statewide recognition for their efforts. Science tells us that trees are essential to managing the water cycle, mitigating stormwater runoff issues, including soil erosion, pollution reduction, and water quality management. But as part of the new NJDEP regulations, Glen is required to adopt community-wide ordinance governing the removal and replacement of trees on private property. So in line with the new state regs, the proposed ordinance introduces a permitting process for removal and replacement of trees on private property. There is an application fee set in the ordinance, and additionally for each, and that application fee is $100. Additionally, for each replacement tree required, $100 will be held in escrow for 2 years to ensure that the tree is healthy and sustained. A permit is not required for trees identified as invasive or hazardous, or if a tree should fall in your yard because of a storm, you need not file the application to have it removed because nature has done that for you, but you do need to file documentation just to indicate the cause of the reason that it's no longer there. I think that's about explanation. So that is what I have there. I move ordinance number 1811 for final reading. And that is an ordinance repealing and replacing Chapter 1228 shade trees and establishing Chapter 1229 requiring permits for the removal of trees on private property. Essentially, there's been a melding of our shade tree ordinance with this new requirement that the state has imposed on all municipalities in the state for removal of trees on private property.
Mayor, this is to state for the record that this ordinance has been published and posted in accordance with the statute.
I declare this meeting open for discussion of this ordinance and this ordinance only, this being the time and place for the public hearing. Chief?
Do you want to pick up the 74 Midland Avenue, how does one track this? There will be an application that will be developed, and we're hoping to do it through the community plan page. So you're going to go and audit each property?
No.
There,
No, this is a statewide regulation, so any licensed tree expert that operates in New Jersey is a licensed, so they're aware of this law statewide.
Okay. So if you say, I want this tree out of my yard, and call a tree person, that will trigger the requirements. Okay. I mean, it is something that I think we'll be seeing more of, as we've already seen. There have been articles of, honestly, it comes mostly up in connection with developers developing property, but it will kick in for all private properties in municipalities in the state.
Yes, all the questions we asked of the state.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And this is currently in effect.
The other thing that I'm a little confused at is, do you have to then plant another tree?
Yes.
In replacement of that?
Yes.
How does that help the storm drain when that tree is like a stick? What the previous tree was?
Well, it doesn't, the regulations don't tell you where to plant the tree, but they do require you to plant a tree.
So you can even go and say, I planted a tree in Brookdale Park.
No, on the property.
If you're unable to plant a tree on your property, there's going to be a program by which a tree could be planted on borough property, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And
So if the tree falls in front of that power line, and that's why it's out, and you don't want to plant another tree in front of that power line, you plant it somewhere else. And it is much smaller because, to replace a tree of a very large diameter, the regulations do require, depending upon the diameter of that tree, you may be required to plant more than one tree of a smaller size.
The best time to plant a tree was like 20 years ago, and that's happening today or tomorrow. So it is. Yes.
Yeah. It is there. There are
There's
some
an exemption, right? So there's 3 instances where you don't need a permit, right? So if the tree is dead.
Yeah.
If the tree is an invasive species.
Yeah.
And it's the third one if it's hazardous.
Yeah.
So if it has to come down because of natural cause,
Yeah.
you can have it taken down. The tree guy, if it's a tree guy, has to file paperwork, but you're not going to have to get a permit from the tree.
Right. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, so we're going to take some time to roll this out.
Yeah.
Make sure everyone's educated and it makes sense. And so this isn't going to happen tomorrow. We're going to roll it out in a kind of reasonable way.
What I was saying, I'm sorry, is that when, as we have witnessed, because we have a second site right next to us, they came in and took down everything. There were trees, there were shrubs, it's all stuff. And that seems to be a common practice of contractors. This will
slow that roll.
Yeah, but you're right. It's all dependent on enforcement and notifications. So absolutely, it's only as good as the.
And then there's fines associated with doing it without permits.
Right.
So that then those fines really start to add up to a contractor. If it was a lot of trees, it could be significant money. Yeah.
Did you see something? Did you say something?
Now there is an ordinance.
Yeah.
Well,
It's about to.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh.
All right, no further comments forthcoming. I declare this public hearing closed.
Mr. Mayor, I move that ordinance 1811 be adopted.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Lefkowitz. Please call the roll.
Councilors Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Hughes,
aye.
Moody, Law,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. This ordinance is adopted.
Thank you. It was like our fifth meeting today, so we apologize.
The second ordinance, also required under the new NJDEP regs, is ordinance number 1812, and this is regarding storage of salt and de-icing materials. NJDEP has mandated and again provided model language to ensure compliance regarding the storage of de-icing materials on private property to prevent runoff and exposure to stormwater. The ordinance sets forth requirements for the proper storage of salt and other solid de-icing materials on private property with exemptions for 1- and 2-family residences. Madam Mayor, I have ordinance number 1812 entitled.
Mayor, this is to state for the record. Mayor, this is to state for the record that this ordinance has been published and posted in accordance with the statute.
I declare this meeting open for discussion of this ordinance and this ordinance only, this being the time and place for the public hearing.
Councilor Morrow, did you get to read the title?
I'm going to read it as soon as I get to it. An ordinance establishing Chapter 15.30 privately owned salt storage. Ordinance number 1812.
And for the sake of the public, I will say this is really not an issue in Glen Ridge, and that if you've ever been to Willowbrook Mall and you've seen the mountains of salt that they have in the corners because they have acres and acres and acres of lots, this is meant to ensure that things like that are properly handled and can't run off into the water supply. But we don't really have any properties in town that
Piles of
have piles and piles of salt. But if anybody wants to think about it now, there's a framework.
Why don't you put it in
All right, with no further comments forthcoming, I declare this public hearing closed.
Madam Mayor, I move that this ordinance be adopted.
You've heard the, may I have a second?
I'll second.
You've heard the motion by Councilor Morrow, seconded by Councilor Meyer. Please call the roll.
Councilors Lefkowitz,
Aye.
Hughes,
Aye.
Moody, Law,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Morrow.
Aye.
6 ayes, no nays. This ordinance is adopted.
Thank you, Mike. Any further comments, Councilor Morrow?
No, thank you.
Okay. Sure. Mrs. Vitale, do you have any comments this evening?
Just in regard to the purchase of water meters, we saw that tonight. That project will be rolling out in the next couple of weeks. We'll be going to each home and replacing the water meter inside the house. This will replace the heads, and this will also give us an inventory of any homes on the private side that may have lead between the sidewalk and the curb. The borough in the past went through the town and replaced all the lead between the street and the curb, and what's left is from the curb to the house. And by swapping out these meters, we'll also be able to see what that material is between the sidewalk and the curb. So that project is forthcoming. And two, I'm very excited about the Safe Routes to School. Now it's 2 years amongst friends, moving this project forward, and we're looking forward to that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, that's a big project for the town. Don?
I have a report.
There's enough for you today.
The only thing I have is top card programs full steam ahead. We already have 5 winners of prizes.
I can't believe that.
Oh, yeah. Impressive work ethic. Still, I guess, but we still have 7 more prizes, so it's not over yet.
If you're listening at home, the chief is here and he has his cards ready. If you don't have them,
Come on down.
he's like the Pokemon.
Gotta get them all.
You gotta get them all. All right, great. No new or unfinished business, correct, Mike? So we'll open it back up for comments from the public. Yeah, perfect.
That's you,
Public.
Thank you also for being here tonight.
What's happening? Tomorrow's very lonely.
Do I have to be right in there?
Yeah, just state your name and...
My name is Paul Byrne. I live in Charlotte, Midland Avenue, Language. I've been there for about 30 years. And I wanted to bring to your attention what I see as an inadequacy of storm drains in our area. We have 2 events in August, one on the 18th, and then one on the 27th, Sunday and a week there on Monday. We had very heavy rain. A number of us neighbors were out there trying to clear gutters. There was a very large pool of water that built up at the bottom of Madison Street. So we were out there up to our knees in water trying to deal with this. In the past, over the last 30 years, every once in a while we have something like this. It was not that frequent, but occasionally it would happen. And I take my metal rake and I go over to Adams and I scrape the 2 storm drains at the end of Adams. And when I would do that, the water, I call it Lake Midland. The water would settle down and it would kind of be taken care of. So this Sunday the 18th, I walked over to Adams and the water was coming down the width of Adams.
Yeah.
And was several inches deep. And so I think there's a pretty serious safety issue with this. Because a number of us are out there struggling with the waters coming very rapidly. And as I go up Adams in my, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not skilled in this, but I see only one storm drain up the hill. And I think I don't know if you refer to it as a full drain or it's basically filled up, and once it fills up, that's it, water runs over. Water is running apparently from Hawthorne to Adams. There's no storm drains in Hawthorne at the top of Adams as far as I can tell. There are no storm drains effectively on Adams until we get to the bottom, and at that point it's too late. So I'm hopeful that you can take a look at this. I know the town looked at this, and Mr. Kelly and I had several discussions, and there was a plan to solve a related, but I would say a different problem, which is a lot of stormwater in the backyard.
Yeah.
This is not that. This is different. This is water coming down Addison, coming down Adams. It's gotten a lot worse over the years. It reminds me when I was a kid, we used to have some Jersey Shore, and we'd pile into the station wagon, and we'd go down, and there were 2 lanes on the Riverside Parkway, going south, and there were 2 lanes going north. And it became 3 lanes because of volume. And then it became 4 lanes, and now I don't know, 10 lanes. There's a lot of lanes going down for sure. But what happened is, the state increased because of the volume of traffic, they increased the lanes. I think that it would be good for us to think of the volume of water
is coming now in the same way. And I know Bloomfield will struggle with this as well. And I would think Montclair, I talked to a Springfield New Jersey worker last week, and she described the exact same things as a town worker that lost a patrol car and that lost a town stock. So I don't know if this can be bubbled up to the county, or if you could create an alliance, if this is something that Glen is doing on the ground, but I'd like for the reconsideration.
Yeah, no, of course. And I had a few remarks at the beginning of the session, but I'll just briefly mention them again because you've heard some other neighborhoods as well from the last two storms. So Thomas and some shared streets with Bloomfield, similar. And so we are aware climate change is obviously causing more intense storms and the amount of rain that they're draining. We have so we'll get money into New Jersey DOT to resurface streets, and what our staff's been so great doing is where there's an opportunity to upgrade the storm drain system and spend more of that DOT money rather than paving the street, upgrading the storm drain, they've done that. So on Sherman, curbing and a storm drain was added, and then also on Benson. Now, that is very strategic, but it's also going to take a long time because we get this tranche of the money in and we maybe have 2 or 3 streets and then another tranche of money and you've heard how long it takes to school. So that's one way we're doing it, but we have already initiated conversations with Montclair and Bloomfield because we do believe it's a regional issue. We're everything's kind of flowing downhill and it originates somewhere. Tony's Brook, which may or may not be where you ultimately discharge to, but that really gets flooded. All the storm water is going to that. We have a lot of discharges into Tony's Brook as well as Montclair and Bloomfield too. So you're right. We want to leverage that with those already coalitions, with the county, with the state, and with the federal delegation. And we've already started those conversations. Now, it's not going to solve it overnight, but we do want to, we know it needs to be addressed. So we also are thinking about how we gather more data on the ground from our residents. So we'll probably do something this fall, asking for a little more information. Are you getting flooded? Where are you getting flooded? Can you tell us a little bit more? So that we have like a whole story that we can bring to people. So your information is going into that, and I don't know, maybe we can map it out or something like that. So that's where we are, and the storm infrastructure, stormwater infrastructure was just built so long ago, right? And the precipitation maps have just really charts have really changed. So that's kind of where we are in all over the state, unfortunately. But I don't know if anyone wants to add anything because we've all gotten a few emails from residents, and it's extremely scary and frustrating, and it costs money, and it's dangerous. And I know our DPW, our DPW does go out and scrape the storm drain thing
before every storm, and then when we're called in. But usually it's that waiting period to try to get the crews in. He's out. He's already away.
The last several years, you've been out before storms quite often. Whereas 10, 15, 20 years ago, that's never happened. So that's crazy.
So we want to try to figure it all out, and
flooding just brings that to
really crazy.
I started a petition. I don't know if it's helpful to you, or are you talking to other towns, or I'm not sure how I can that to you. I don't know why, but I don't know the first thing about how to formulate a petition.
Back here.
We can come back and email it.
Just email it over because we're putting it all together. We have videos now, and we have photos and all sorts of stuff. And now we can say our residents. It's all. I think we all want to go in the same direction, and so we need to show this is where our constituency is.
And I think, and then once we develop kind of this where the issues are, because we have issues at Baldwin and Ridgewood. And Cambridge and Ridgewood. Like, you drive by there, you would have always Right.
Like, I was talking to the sergeants on the corner there, and they were saying the exact same thing.
It's just, in spots you would never think about. So that kind of, once we get this kind of framed out, we're going to be meeting with Bloomfield and Glen Ridge, or Bloomfield and Montclair, just kind of mapping things out and then getting input so that we can then present a package and look at something comprehensively all the way down. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no, very topical.
Very well.
According to the law and how things are on the books, is every town responsible for its own storm drains?
So we have a stormwater permit, and that's part of what that's this tree and salt shed are part of that permit that allows us to spill water into Tony's Brook.
Yeah, but there's no real requirement that you keep your stormwater on your own property.
Right.
For new development, there is, but we're built out.
As a carpenter, I have, for the last 22 years, I've had an attorney who is an environmental lawyer in New Jersey as a student. And I mentioned this issue to him, and he said that there is a statute in New Jersey law that says if rainwater from one property is going on to another property, and that rainwater is creating a problem for the other homeowner, then that has to be, has to be taken care of.
They might have a private cause of action.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. New development is required. So it's a huge problem. We feel like we're paid, right? And then rainwater has nowhere to go. So we have to figure that out. Any other comments? Okay. Councilor Law.
Yes, Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Hi.